And we are live. Let me just go and make sure invite people and stuff like that.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, it's just hello everyone. Yeah, it's just one of those like really crazy internet days, unfortunately for me. So whoever is watching or going to watch this is gonna be, this might be gonna get disconnected. So you're gonna listen to Johnson talking and yeah.
I basically hijack your show.
Oh, by all means, where are you? Facebook has some weird issue sometimes in terms of that.
Oh, I see it. There you go.
Do you see it? I don't see it.
I see it.
Okay, disconnected. So okay, yeah, I think you have to mute
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you just have to mute it and stuff.
Yep. There's a live feedback. All right.
Yep. Okay. Never mind. Let's just proceed. I cannot find where I am. But hi, good morning. Yeah. Hello. Good morning, everyone. This is Daniel Cervantes with Next Up Asia. Today I have my longtime friend Johnson Khoo. Hi, Johnson.
Hi everyone. Good morning.
You have a wonderful backdrop over there. I'm really envious over at your backdrop. Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm in my office in Bangsa. So basically, I've been staying at this office for 3 years now.
Mhm.
So this whole MCO thing is the same thing for me lah. Because if this work from home thing, right? If you're really passionate about your work, it's basically staying at office lah. I'm sure some of you have realized by now. Because your whole schedule is really just work, sleep, eat, and repeat. And then there's no coffee breaks, no commute and stuff like that. Every day you just work and then repeat.
Do you feel that this the whole time you are actually more productive or less productive? Like,
For me, it's definitely more productive. There's no difference between MCO and no MCO for me lah. Because every day is also a work day. I work until very late at night. I work until 7 a.m. Then I usually sleep until 10, 11. Then I repeat the whole thing and stuff like that. Yeah, it is how to say, working from home is more productive if you have a proper setup. If you
mhm.
have like a proper chair, a proper table and whatnot, right? Yeah, then you actually get a lot more work done that way.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I just moved into this place, so I'm like everything is. Ta-da!
Blank. It's a blank canvas for you.
It's a blank canvas, and I'm basically streaming not with my favorite mic. So I see you have something really a lot better than that. But that's
Yeah.
we're not here to talk about mics. We are actually here to talk about a couple of things. Now, number one is essentially your entrepreneur journey, and also we're going to talk about the whole notion of love tech. I think we were having a discussion earlier, like is there such thing or love tech or not? But yeah, I definitely think so. There is a whole bunch of classification, and I think we kind of disagree whether porn is a love tag. But
That's a whole
we
different thing
might
altogether, man.
no, we might be getting the founder of Make Love Not Porn coming on.
Ah, you know
So
him?
I know Cindy. Yeah, Cindy is a friend. Uh, so
Mm.
and basically in terms of there are like from matchmaking side to like counseling to teledidonics and to a whole bunch of things. Like yeah. So
Hmm.
how long have you had this idea with you already?
Um, Idea wise is around close to 10 years already. Yeah. But really executing it and actually turning it into an idea, I would say 2013. I launched something called We Could Happen back then.
Okay.
So there's this thing, there was a short film, like that has more than 100,000 views on YouTube and whatnot. But that ad crashed on sign up because that time I didn't know how to code yet. So what was supposed to be a 3-month project became a 2-year project. And as you know, for coders, right, you can't just stop and then because people cannot read your code and whatnot. So I just kept funding them, just kept paying them until what was supposed to be a 3-month project became a 2-year project, and the app still crashed on sign up. We had 500 users on the first day, so there's demand for that. Then it kept growing by around 100 users until it hit like 16,000 users. But at some point I just diverted all of them to like a Facebook page lah, because like I'll tell you when we launch, because I'll tell you when we relaunch, because people just can't sign up, right? So Yeah, because it came to a point where all the marketing materials, the short film, everything was done. So I was like, yeah, screw it, I just launch and see what happens, like, because there's this saying that goes on that like if you have launched, if you're not embarrassed by your first launch, you have launched too late, right? So okay, fine, whatever, just try it. Yeah.
Definitely. But in terms of that, like, how much have you spent
Hmm?
launching that business?
That okay, that one is my own money, it's my own savings, right? So that time I was just so that time that was actually my second business, so to speak. Is it second? Actually it's third if you really count it. I started my first business when I was 19 years old. So that time I just came back from Singapore from ASEAN scholarship. I think that was when I met you in 2009, right?
Probably
So
so, yeah.
long time ago, right? So that was a market research company. It made money, but it just couldn't become like a big billion-dollar company kind of thing, right? So if I continue working on that, it will probably become like a 5 to 10 million ringgit company, which is great, but it's not the kind that I want to change the world with and change Malaysia with, lah. So we decided to return the money to investors, with a small interest over 2 years. Then after that, the second was actually an education startup that some prominent investors wanted to fund, but in the end, I didn't take the money. I decided to go with the dating idea first. So that was We Could Happen in 2013. I was actually doing my bar back then. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that people generally do not know that you were studying law.
Yeah, my background is in law, but but to
So,
do whatever I do, I gotta do a lot of stuff, lah. Yeah.
so from marketing company to education company to dating company, and I do know also you
Hmm.
were doing some sort of like personal finance thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so, like why the diversity?
Okay, I guess to put the whole thing to perspective, right, to give you a sense of timeline, you gotta start when I was in Singapore studying, right? So the reason I came back to Malaysia, besides my parents, because they are old, and for a long time I'm the only son, like, or no son like that. So besides that, is because I wanted to change Malaysia. It sounds ambitious, but basically I was quite saddened by the fact that all my friends are going to Stanford, Harvard, and stuff like that. A lot of them are not coming back, right? So I was thinking, like, if our brightest and best talent are going overseas, right, then Malaysia got no hope really, lah. Oh no, my cat is walking across the screen.
Oh, hello!
Shuffle. No.
Special appearance, my God! Oh
Say
my
hi to
God!
Shuffle. Yeah. So these are stray cats. They came in during a speed dating event. Yeah. So so anyway, it's still fun, right? The setup and stuff. Okay, so basically what happened was I decided I realized that Malaysia's problem is actually a rural urban divide. Right. So for us to progress together as a nation, all of us, including the people in Sabah, Sarawak, in the kampungs and everyone, we need to have access to education. If all of us can think critically, know how to cross-reference stuff, stuff like that, then we will naturally vote in capable leaders that would lead us into a better future together. Because even today, it's quite divided lah in that lines. Even in the US, it's the same thing. That's why Donald Trump is president. So then I realized that what can you do to do that? Because like the government is not going to do anything about it, right? So I was wondering, what if Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates were Malaysian? Their personal wealth of 40 to 50 billion US dollars itself can change Malaysia. Just go to, because you're a small country, right? Go to Sabah, Sarawak, build schools and whatnot, that will happen. But the richest people in Malaysia, they are not doing something for certain reason lah, because their businesses, a lot of them can be easily destroyed by certain people if they are doing the wrong things, right? So I don't want to get too much into that, but basically, so for me, it's about how to become a billionaire lah. you know. Then my first business when I came back, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. So I joined this challenge called the Money Tree Maybank Startup Challenge. That was where I learned about business, how to pitch, how to do elevator pitches, what is a USP and stuff like that. So from there, I learned and I raised funds from investors to start my first business. That was a market research business called Try This Out, right? Which became Classen and whatnot. So basically we do surveys, lah, right? It's just a fancy name for a surveying company for people. But that is not really a big market in Malaysia, because the big contracts are usually from IDC and Nielsen and stuff like that. So we are only getting the subcontracts and subcontracts, which is a small amount, like tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. So it's not going to be big. But for a 19-year-old at that time was okay lah. right? So that was my first business experience. Then the second one, I was realizing, okay, so how do you build the next Facebook or Google? Because it's great if you have built like the next job street or iProperty or whatnot, but I mean, even that, no business is easy. Even you start a bak kut teh shop or you start a cafe, it's also not going to be easy. But the time and opportunity cost is roughly the same of 5 to 10 years of doing that, right? So for me, it's like, okay, I'm 20 years old. What am I going to do now, right? It's either go big or go home, lah. There's only so much time in your life that you can take risks and have got nothing to worry about and just go and try it, right? So so at that point, I realized that there's a trend, like how $100 billion companies like Facebook or Google are built, right? First thing is that the problem you are solving must be a global problem, must be a fundamental global problem that everyone in the world faces. So for example, $100 billion companies, there are not many, right? So let's just take Facebook and Google, for example, right? So for Google, the problem they are solving is trying to organize the world's information, right? That might not sound like a problem, but as humans, we are curious people. We want information. Before that, we go to libraries, we ask our uncles and whatnot. Nowadays, you just Google, right? For Facebook, it's about connecting people, staying in touch with friends, because we are social beings, right? No matter who you are, you're in Zimbabwe, China, Russia, or whatever, you have friends. You're K-pop lah, you want to see what they had for dinner last night lah, and stuff like that, right? So for Facebook, we're connecting people. So the first thing must be a fundamental global problem that everyone in the world faces. The second thing is that if the technology is ready to disrupt it and solve it in a better way, chances are you're not going to be a first person. There are going to be a lot of smart people who are doing it in Silicon Valley already, right? So the key here is about solving the problem thoroughly, right? So solving the problem thoroughly. So Facebook was not the first social network. Before that, there was Friendster. I don't know how many of you know Friendster. Before that was MySpace, and stuff like that. Google was not the first search engine. Before that, there was Alta Vista. There was Yahoo that was already listed when they started Google and whatnot, right? So it's really about being the best and the last one. Like what Peter Thiel said in his book 0 to 1, it's about monopoly, so it's about being the best and the last in that category, right? So that's the second thing. Then the third thing is that they will always end up the same way. The one that becomes the best and the last will become a global monopoly. It's just like how Facebook is actually a monopoly in social. Instagram, WhatsApp, they all own everything, right? You talk about staying in touch with friends, it's about Facebook, right? For search, Google, everything is the de facto search engine everywhere else, right? Then you have a distant second place, right? So for search, you can say that is Yahoo, because in Japan, they are still big. They are still a default search engine there.
Bing,
For
Bing.
Yeah, Bing, but I'm coming to that in the sense where then for social networking, Twitter, you can say that's a second place because Donald Trump still uses it, he's still alive but still losing money, right? But then there will be a copycat by a big company. You'll be like, we are big, we are rich, that's opportunity. Why didn't we do that, right? So they will try to compete. So when Google started that time, the big company was Microsoft lah, because before search engine, the big thing was operating systems. That was Apple and Microsoft, right? So they started Bing, right? Then when Facebook came along, the big company was Google Search, right? So they started Google Plus, which eventually died, but they gave us stuff like Google Hangouts and stuff lah. So Bing is still around, still making money. It's good, but it's just nothing compared to Google, right? And that is how it will end up that way. But at that point, I was like, what? The time I was 22, 2012, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's easy to say like that and look in hindsight. But if you were Larry Page and Sergey Brin back then, Yahoo was already listed. Were you there to start Google or not? When Friendster have already raised $40 million in venture funding, and it's like the biggest social network around. High Five is there, MySpace is there. If you're Mark Zuckerberg, do you still dare to start a social network? So if you ask me right now, the situation where it's a global problem. There are a lot of big companies trying to solve it, well-funded ones, but there's no clear winner that this is the best, right? You just use it, right? If you ask me, the two industries are education and dating. Education, you have Udemy, you have Khan Academy, you have Coursera, you name it, that. For dating, there's, of course, the whole conglomerate Match Group, which is Match.com, Plenty of Fish, eHarmony, Tinder is also part of that, right? Then you have Coffee Meets Bagel, you have Bumble and Paktor, local ones and whatnot. So, It's very similar to back then when there was no best search engine. I remember I like F-16 and fighter jets. I'll go to school in my primary school. I'll open all the different search engines. Alta Vista, Metacrawler, or I'll just search for F-16, the fighter jet, right? Because
Yeah.
none of them give me the best results that I want. Then all of a sudden came this thing called Google, which like, you sure or not? The thing is blank one. Because last time if you use search engine back then, right, it's very cluttered one. You got horoscope
Yes.
and stuff like that. This one is like a blank line, So I just put F-16, really the F-16 come out, Before you know it, you are just using Google all the way already. Right now, how people are using dating apps is very similar to how people were using search engines back then. You just ask any single person who is using dating apps right now, they are on all of them. Coffee Meets Bagel, Tinder, all also they try before. The reason is because none of them has really solved the problem thoroughly yet. So just so happened that I'm also passionate in solving dating and education. I know how to solve all of that. So actually the second one I started was actually an education company. Then there was quite a prominent and successful entrepreneur in Malaysia who's very passionate about education, right? So I mean that's another long story lah. That one you can read in my blog. I wrote about that. So I'm gonna skip the education part. Basically, I was doing my bar. I thought he was a bit conservative, and then I was more passionate in doing B2C and doing dating because education at that point of time was a bit removed for me because I graduated already, isn't it? So yeah, this is my 10-year startup journey. It's a long read, but there are many related articles. You can slowly scroll through it, and if you're interested to know more, lah. Right. So yeah, so that's why I settled on dating. That was not the first time I worked with programmers. So I knew that I needed to have a proper mock-up, don't feature creep, which is something that a lot of non-technical founders like to do. Like you make everything you do properly, the wireframing and stuff like that, high fidelity mock-ups. Tell developers just do this and that's it. Don't add stuff anymore, right? Because
I think let's backtrack a bit on two things that you mentioned. One is high fidelity mockup. What is that, and what is feature creep?
Okay, so high fidelity. Okay, when you have an idea, the first thing you have is of course a sketch, right? So you draw it out on a pen, on pencil, on paper, on the back of a napkin and stuff like that. That is basically a wireframe, right? It's not high fidelity. That means it's just a rough idea of what you want to do, like which page got what button and stuff like that. Yep. The one, there are apps out there you can use like Balsamiq. You can Balsamiq. You can, if you want a free thing, you can ask me. I can send you the code because I bought it last time in like 7 years ago. I don't know if they're still around, but that's quite a good wireframing tool. Then if you are more advanced, you know how you want it to look, then you go and download some UI kits. UI kit is like your button, everything that's in Photoshop. You make it into Photoshop and JPEG images. You go to something like InVision app, right? Like InVision app, you chantum them together. But if you stitch them together, you can put like this part, you click, then it will go to what page and stuff like that. It's basically a hyperlink page, but you can do pictures with that. It basically simulates how the app will work in real life when you actually code it out. So once you do that, that is called a high fidelity mockup, right? Once you do that, then you tell the developer, this is what I want to do. Then they go and design a database and stuff like that. Then they will do it for you. So once you've done that, do not feature creep. Feature creep means that means, a lot of non-technical founders, they will be like, okay, can you change the button color? Can you this one move left a bit? Can you like add another feature that can do this? Because you don't know how to code, right? Some things might be easy. Like maybe changing the color is easy, but making the button rounder is not easy. You get what I mean? That will take another day of work or stuff like that. So so if you keep adding stuff, right, then your cost will go up. Then your developers will not be happy. Then you might add further bugs to it because originally he might just design it that way. Then you want to add another feature that might just crumble the whole thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think you actually put up a good point when Google, back in the day, all the search engine has everything like from horoscope, everything that those are all features. Google didn't have that resources, so they actually went something very simple.
No, actually, I don't think it's about resources. That thing is just really about solving the problem thoroughly. It's kind of different.
Yeah. I think at that point in time they just didn't have. They just wanted to do something simple.
Yeah, but that is the problem. They also identify what is really the problem to solve it. Yeah. Because for different problems, it's different. Like for search, right? It's really about optimizing the algorithm. So whatever you key in, the answer will come out, right? It's about that. But for social networking, like connecting people, right, then it's different. If you ask me, there's a feature wall. Because like when Facebook started, it was just a college directory. It's just like a list of people in Harvard and what course they take, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask me what eventually won them the war and beat Friendster and whatnot, of course Friendster got a lot of stuff like the VCs forced them to hire a CEO that's wrong for them, that done a lot of stupid stuff. That one, there's a whole podcast about that you can go and listen about. But basically it's about the features that they have. If you ask me for Facebook why they won, is because there are two key features, which is photo tagging and newsfeed, that Friendster didn't have. Right? Back then, I love Friendster because there's something called testimonials. Last time it was like, write me a testy. Like Daniel is a very nice person. He's so talented and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff, right? So now it's all gone. You gotta ask Ganesh what did he do to it. He bought it and then just like deleted everything.
I think he sold it actually. I can't remember who bought it back. But he has the pattern, and that was another story basically.
Yeah, but our data, the testimonials is there. So what really made Facebook win the war was because I was on Friendster, I loved it. I'm the kind of person that I don't want to switch on. It's like I love Friendster and that's it. But all of a sudden, like around 2008 in college, in A levels at time, then my friends were like, hey, go on Facebook. They both take a picture, they tag you, right? So I want to see picture. How? Open Facebook account. Right? Open Facebook account, then you see, oh, there's my picture and whatnot. Then you see, hey, got newsfeed. I can see what Daniel had for dinner yesterday. I can see who is Daniel's friends. Then after a while, you realize you are never back on Friendster anymore. You are just hooked onto the newsfeed on just stalking people, see what they had for dinner. That's how they won. So for connecting people is about a feature wall. Because some different people use Facebook different reasons, right? Like some use it to poke people, some use it to stalk people, some use it to comment and whatnot. So it's like it's different thing.
Poke, I don't think it's a feature anymore. So
yeah, but it's one of it's a pathway towards what it is now,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for dating, if you ask me, it's similar. Because for dating, it's like social networking 2.0. Now you have your friend base and whatnot. Now it's about the deeper level. How do you find the special one, the soulmate, the right life partner for you to go through everything together in life, right? So it's a deeper version of social networking. That's why you need a lot of tools to help people to get to know each other better, to find out what their values are, what their life goals are. That's what we are trying to build right now. So we can help people help introduce the compatible partners to each other. Yeah.
And before we actually go into more on the whole dating scene and so forth, so what actually happened? Like when you launched, people cannot sign up past the login page. You spend so much money with developers. What happened after
that? There's a lot of years and long stories in between that you can just read in the article. But to summarize it, basically, after that, to be honest, I was quite depressed. Like I was like legit depressed. Like so, my friends are doctors and whatnot, and they gave me a test and kind of diagnosed me with clinical depression. But if it's very serious, you need medication. But for me, at least I know that I'm depressed and I know why I'm depressed. So I can take steps to mitigate it and to come out of it slowly. Right now, I don't know I'm better, but I don't know if I fully recovered from depression because sometimes the ecosystem is still not ready and whatnot. So I mean, like there are breakthroughs, there's progress, but it's not super big. So I also don't know. But I just try my best, right? So that happened. I was quite sad, a bit depressed. Then I basically went to ask for help. So I asked anyone I can find. That was also the time that magic just started, right? Okay, for those of you in the startup ecosystem, you might know that actually I'm quite old school, but you probably never know me because I'm not famous enough. I mean, since 2009, there was MDEC, there's 150 grand. Then before that, I knew Nazreen was one of my first mentors, and stuff like that, Dr. Siva and whatnot. So those were my first investors, some of them when I was 19 years old. So that was before Magic. Most people only know the startup scene in Malaysia after Magic. But before that, there was already a lot of things happening, right? There was Bob Chua back then and whatnot. Then when Magic happened, it was when it brought everyone together at one place, because of the Magic Academy and stuff like that. So there I met a lot of people. I met some pioneers from the dot-com boom, which is like 97, 2001 and whatnot. So I just asked them for advice, you know. So I told them like, so I have this app, I build it like that. Then my programmers told me that it's impossible to build, you know, like how can the system be so smart that you can introduce this person to like that, you know, stuff like that. But for me, because I learn fast, I Google and whatnot. So according to Google, it can be done. Like, just do this and do this and do this, like, you get what I mean? But my programmer told me that no, it cannot be done. So it's like you ask your doctor, like, is this correct? But then doctors say cannot be done. But then according to your research, it can be done, right? Then who are you supposed to believe? Because you don't know a language, right? You are not a professional at programming, right? But after a while, as I ask those professionals who are tech savvy, who are CTOs themselves, they tell me that, you know, Johnson, actually you're right. Your programmers don't know that stuff. Then I was like, how like that? Actually, is they just don't want to learn, you can mean. So, but I don't know the language. I didn't know how to code, right? So I was asking myself, like, am I really that lousy? It's like, am I really that lousy that I can? Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, you know. So I met a lot of people, including some early employees at like employee number top 10 of a very successful startup today. I don't want to say what later then they will know which startup and who the person is, right? But then I realized that a lot of at that point of time I was thinking, okay, maybe my programmers are not good enough. Why don't I hire the best in Malaysia? So who's the best in Malaysia? So I found out that company, that firm, it is very, very expensive. It's like just for Android, one app is 60,000 ringgit for a basic login feature and whatnot. And if you want to do iOS, it's double, it's 120,000. Then to have a basic MVP, it cannot even function properly, just like a few features, right? It's really 300,000 per pop. So it's like at least 600,000 ringgit to do that, right? To a very basic app for both iOS and Android. So I was thinking, okay, fine, that is money I probably can earn in like 1 or 2 years or whatnot, because at that time I was doing financial planning, right? So financial planning is another thing where one of my first investors when I was 19 years old, he's a financial planner. So he's telling me that, okay, now you know Johnson, you are young, you know all the CEOs and all the big shots and whatnot, but you don't know the person who's running the factory or the restaurant down the road. So this is the opportunity for you to make some money and get to know them, you know. If you can plan their finances, great. If not, then just make a friend, right? So because in the future I might also start a factory or whatnot, you never know, right? So so where was I? So like programmers, right?
Programmers, yes. I think let's just go back a bit. I think one of your earlier advice from at least your mentor was like, do not learn programming.
Wow, you're digging a lot into detail, bro. This is gonna be a very long session if you go this route.
No worries. We would like to hear.
I thought I was just gonna summarize everything and that's
we can summarize to Josh and Audrey.
Yeah, so one of my mentors is quite a respected person in this industry, right? In the startup scene here, says that, you know, Johnson, do what you do best, which is business, right? Don't learn programming, leave the programming to the pro, hire someone, outsource the programming, right? That is actually the worst advice I've ever received for my case, right? I've written an article on it. You can go to Medium, my blog, johnsonkhoo.com. Just go to johnsonkhoo.com, everything is there, right? Each one is an article in itself, right? To be fair to them, they are right in their context, right? For most of you who are listening, actually that is the right advice to give you. Because if you're looking to build something like an e-commerce site or trying to sell something online or something that's not so complicated, that is like no one has ever done before, right? That doesn't require complicated algorithms and stuff like that. That is true. Because the talent is out there, you can hire someone to do it. In Malaysia, you can hire good enough developers to do that, right? For most of it, you might not even need a proper developer. Just use a Shopify site, use a WordPress plugin, use WooCommerce or whatnot, right? That is for most startups that you see in Malaysia. Or like for something like a booking site or listing site, just use Ruby on Rails, you know, like a 2-week hack or 1 month thing can calculate the whole thing for you, right? But if you're trying to build something like what I'm trying to build, where there's a graph of people to introduce people to the right values, custom features and whatnot, then if you're going to hire someone to do it, it's going to cost you a bomb. You know, that is really, that's why for my type that I'm trying to build like a 0 to 1 kind of startup that no one has ever done before, you need to be technical, or at least find someone who's good technical co-founder. So it's either you are a Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs doesn't know how to build computers, by the way. He's just an idea person, right? So Steve Wozniak was the one that actually do the engineering, solder everything together and build the first PC, right? It's either that, but Malaysia unfortunately got no Steve Wozniaks. If they are probably in the Silicon Valley, or they
Or
are
they
in
are
a
probably
very high
hired.
paying job
They are
right now.
hired. Yeah.
Yeah, or they are doing their own thing, their own dev house or whatnot, right? So you're probably got to be your own Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, which both of them, they code themselves, they write the first software themselves, their first MVP themselves. So I'm like, shit lor. Then there's a founder in Malaysia that's very successful that did it. That time was not that successful yet, but on the way up, right? So I was like, okay, he's not technical. So how did he do it, right? That's why I talked to his early founders, his early employees and whatnot. Yeah, but then I realized that he's from a very, very rich family, lah. I don't want to say which one, then you will know who he is, lah. But then I realized that they also spend a lot of money hiring programmers from India, and that code that came back cannot use at all, just crash and burn. So they also spend like a lot more than me, like an amount. Let's just say it's an amount that you can buy a good house with, lah. That money just went down the drain cause
I know the amount.
yeah. Yeah, we don't want to say out loud, right? So you can guess lah. So basically that happened, and then when I heard that, I was like, okay lah, I'm not that bad lah. I'm not the only one going through this. There are people who are richer than me who also lost that amount, but he made it because he had more money to hire a proper team. So he realized, okay, I cannot outsource it. So what he did was he hired a proper back end team. So if you know coding, their front end, back end, and whatnot, right? So okay, basically your website is a front end, then your iOS is one front end, Android is another front end, right? So the firm I was planning to hire, I thought they built the whole thing, but they didn't. They only built the iOS version of it, the front end. That means how it looks on iOS. They only built that part, right? And it's not the full part somewhere, just like a little bit only. So then I realized he hired a whole team to build the back end, which is where all the processing is done. Internal Java team which built the Android version of the app. Then only they outsource the iOS, how it looks on iOS part to that development firm. Then I was like, shit lah, that means I gotta build that whole thing. And their business model, they were also poaching people from Accenture and whatnot to go and do the business side of stuff, because that is a very business heavy side of things as well. So I was like, I don't have that kind of money, man. Then I dig deeper, I realized that they spend a lot of money. So before they even raise outside funding, actually they are their own VCs really, right? Then I was like, shit lah, I don't have that kind of money. So the only way I can do that is to be my own Mark Zuckerberg lah, to build the thing myself lah. I mean, to be fair, Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates were privileged as well. I mean, they're from rich families, they're dentists and lawyers and whatnot, their parents, but at least they can build it themselves before they get outside funding. They don't have to hire someone to do it. So okay, fine, that's the way to do it. So I decided to learn how to code. I was skeptical at first, because you see why I took law is because I hated math. I'm not a math person. I thought coding was a math thing, right? Like everyone else, right? So I'm not bad at math. It's just I don't like because I'm a more artsy person where I like to change arguments and whatnot, right? So math, a lot of times, the first time I go into the exam hall is is my first practice. I mean, it's not too bad lah. It's still an A1 lah, but because I'm a scholar, right? So it's a different thing, right? So my China friends, everything are like top level 90 plus. That kind. I'm a just nice A1 that kind. So, but the thing is like, so I just hated math. So I thought I was suck at coding. And then that time Next Academy just started. That's why you heard Audrey the other day, right? That time was Josh. I didn't know Audrey existed that time. So
Sorry, Audrey.
yeah, I met her later. And then I realized that we are from the same church. And anyway, so my friends were joining, right? I met some friends who joined and stuff like that. But I was apprehensive lah, because not everyone who went to Next Academy came out and can code lah, right? To be fair, Next Academy has very good syllabus. If you go there and you go through the whole process, you really learn how to code, right? You will be able to build an MVP. You can build almost any app that is simple, right? You cannot build to a level that is very advanced, but it will give you enough knowledge to know what to learn in the future to build up your skills, like what I'm doing, right? But it's hard. Programming is hard. That's why you need to go full time, right? You need to go full time. You need to have a mentor to that, to actually, like, you cannot miss any lesson, because once you are left out, right, you will feel very sad. This one thing for people who are going, I definitely encourage you to go for a boot camp, because you'll save a lot of money and you can know how to talk to your programmers, right? But I just want to tell you that you need to be very serious in doing it, because I'm just going to share some experience in joining the bootcamp where if you get left out, right, that means like this today you're supposed to complete like sign in and sign up module, right? You make sure you complete that, because if you don't complete that by next week, like let's say I'm learning how to do payment gateway, how to do the PayPal, and then you can pay and check out stuff, and you're still on sign in, right? It's not I don't want to help you as a batchmate, but I got to learn my stuff as well. You know what I mean? Then you also paise to ask me, then you'll be forever stuck at sign up and sign in. So that's yeah, but they have a very good good process where you get remedial, so you repeat that thing then you join the next batch and whatnot. So that's a very good thing for you to make sure that you actually learn every single thing. But just make sure you keep up if you go to Next Academy. But it's definitely a very good thing to do. So I went to Next Academy, learn how to code. That's also when I finally met my co-founder, who's a pure tech guy, right? Who quit his high-paying job and joined me for a fresh grad salary and stay with me together at this office for 1 year, right? Every day we just sleep. We are not in the room much. The room is just a tilam. It's just a mattress. So we just sleep for 5 hours. We come back, we code day and night, and then just repeat for 1 year. We did that. I mean, he has not bigger plans, but he has commitments and a girlfriend, which is something's gonna happen soon and whatnot. So I told him that, after 1 year, just go and earn your money. Go and earn the money and stuff like that, because save up for the big day and things like that. So yeah, so that happened. We built the app, we launched the app, and that's how Wowwwz is born. Yeah, so that's where we are now. That's 3 years into it. Someone got married on the app, which is great. Other couples met on the app as well. Yeah, so we have around 5,000 plus users, and yeah, but it's still buggy because it's a one-man show right now for most of it, and it's hard to maintain because we use something called React Native. We chose it because at first, React Native is something where you can just write it once and then you can deploy on iOS and Android at the same time, right? So that was attractive to us. You can deploy fast, you can launch it fast, right? So it's about speed. So we did that, but the problem with React Native is that we realized later on is, okay, here I'm going to go very technical already, so I don't really want to talk about this.
No, I mean, you get briefly brush it. Because just for those who do not know, React Native is a framework created by Facebook, actually. So the Facebook app that you're using, Instagram, is all React Native.
Not exactly true lah. There's a lot of native inside. They are lying to you. That's how we found, because okay, so React Native is very bad for picture heavy apps. So if you have an app that is just listing of stuff and just like text and whatnot, that's fine. But if you have an app that's a lot of pictures, on iOS it's fine. On Android, for some stupid reason, it will crash. There's a memory leak problem. That means like as you scroll through more pictures, the RAM, right? So this is like the short-term memory, right? Each picture's memory will keep adding up until it surpasses your phone's capacity, and then it will crash. So at first, Airbnb was using it for their mobile apps. Part of it, like Airbnb, right? The booking of places and whatnot. There's another startup that's quite big in Malaysia. Okay, this one, the VP of engineering told me in confidence, so I'm not going to say who, but it's another app that also shows a lot of pictures, right, where you can buy stuff and whatnot. So that app, they built a separate version of the app, and it never launched because it crashed, because it's also a picture app. And unfortunately for Wowwwz, right, we are, it's basically a carousel of people. You keep swiping, it's pictures of people, right? So for Android, on iOS, our average session per user is around 20 minutes. It's actually quite good, because like Facebook was also around 20 minutes. You just keep looking at new people, answering new questions and whatnot. So how our app works is that you answer a question like, do you like coffee? If you say yes, here are 5 guys or 5 girls who also like coffee. Like, will you mind staying with your in-laws? If you say yes, here are 5 guys or girls who also wouldn't mind staying with your in-laws. And after a while, you can just search what kind of guy or girl you're looking for, and all our single will just come out, right? So this whole process that goes, you're going to go through a lot of pictures. So for Android, right, the average session per user is around 2 minutes. Why 2 minutes? Because our app will crash at the 2 minute mark. It means you keep answering, keep seeing new people. 2 minutes it will crash because the memory is full. We are stuck on that problem for a very long time, because like shit, we ask our Java, our Android specialist friends to come and see, are we doing anything wrong? Are we so lousy that we cannot even build a proper Android app? Right? They say no problem, everything is fine. Then eventually Airbnb blogged about it. They told us about they say they are switching away from React Native because of this problem. So it's like, okay, Airbnb is facing also, it's not our fault, it's the technology's fault, right? Even the big startup that's very well funded that works in teams of six also built an app that they have to scrap. By the way, they work in teams of six. Yeah, that means like to build one feature, there's a product manager, there's a designer, there's a back end engineer, there's an iOS engineer, there's a Android engineer, and there's a web engineer. And these six people are quite highly paid. It's at least like 10 to 15K Sing or US dollars a month. You this one times 6 months to build one feature or one app. That is the amount of money they lost basically to build an app that never launched. So yeah, so React Native. So in the end, what we did was we spent quite a lot of time to hack it in the sense where we have no time to rebuild the whole thing. So we did something where we only show two pictures at one time. We had to do a lot of custom animations to move it around so it looks like it's sliding. So if you slide very slowly, you will see some white spaces because it's custom made animation that takes a lot of time to do. And basically, it's like a web page. You only load two pictures at one time. Then the next two is actually a new page. So you clear the memory and stuff like that. Okay, this is very technical, but basically, you have to do a lot of stuff to fix that.
Yeah.
Then now there are new updates. Like last year, last June, Android has a new standard where you have to rebuild different APKs and whatnot. And this year, iOS is doing something new. So I mean, like my friend in a more well-funded startup is leading a team of 60 engineers, 60 well-paid engineers who all of them work together to upgrade the whole app. They're also using React Native to upgrade the whole app in 3 months. I'm one person doing the whole thing. So it's like shit lah. Then I still got to do YouTube videos and marketing and fix bugs and whatnot, raise funding, pitching. Everything is a full-time job. So it's like, yeah, so it's tough lah. Yeah, but that's basically, yeah. I don't know what you are trying to get me to say, but
No, no, no. What keeps you going actually? Like,
what keeps me going? Well, okay, the whole reason besides wanting to change Malaysia and whatnot that I'm starting this dating app is I want to help people find the right life partners because the sad fact is that most people are actually not with the right life partners. So why I'm so confident I can solve this problem is because when I was 16 years old, I was in this conference called Choosing the Right Partner for Life, right? It's quite they broke things down into like the 8 types of relationships that won't work, 5 compatibility time bombs and whatnot. At first I didn't believe because like every single relationship is different, right? How can you break it down to 8 types that won't work and whatnot? But over the years, so it's like 16 years old until now, it's like I'm 29 this year, turning 30. It's like more than 10 years already, right? It's like this set of principles have been proven to be true, like 100% true over numerous couples throughout this more than 10 years. So shit lah, there must be some truth in this lah. And these are actually very fundamental principles, Like, so I just give you an example. I also realized why it's so here's the whole premise of this thing is that if you find the right partner, life will be like heaven on earth. It's like amazing because you have found someone to go through life together with. It's like amazing. It's like heaven on earth. But if you have found the wrong partner, right, it doesn't mean that you won't get together. It doesn't mean that you won't get married and have kids. Many do. And my parents are one example of people who are wrong for each other, who are got together, had me, and are still married today. The only reason why they are not divorced is because they are from a generation that doesn't believe in that, and also because they cannot afford to, because you share your house and whatnot, and they're old already. And also, my mom doesn't want me to have a broken family, but actually, it's kind of broken already, right? So, if you are with the wrong partner, it doesn't mean you won't get married, have kids. Many do, but the difference is that life will be like a living hell for you. It's literally a living hell because I know that it's a living hell because I've been in it for the past 20 plus years in my parents' marriage, right? For most people, it's just better to get a divorce, right? But a lot of people will just be stuck there for the rest of their lives because you share the same house, right? What are you going to do, right? You cannot afford another house, right? So what are you going to do if you sell the house and whatnot? So you just live with it and just get stuck in that unhappy marriage with someone you absolutely hate and don't love anymore. And some of you might have very fortunate parents to be like they have found the right person. But I would say after meeting so many couples, right, I would say that only probably 25% of couples who are married today are actually the right person. 25% will get a divorce. That's why the divorce rate is 1 in 4 couples who get married will get a divorce, right? 25% will can afford it or got no kids. Okay, fine, I just like find a person, just get divorced, right? Then the other half are people who are just getting by. I mean, it's like, okay, lah, it's not that bad, but I don't love you anymore. But since we have a kid together, a family, you do you, I do me, lah. You go and buy your Prada, you go have your affair, I have my affair, lah. You get what I mean? It's actually more common than you think if you really get to talk to them and know them well enough. These are things that people don't tell you. Even as friends, they might not tell you because, like, unless you are the best friend, it's like not tell you for what. It's like you wouldn't know if you just meet like once a year or stuff like that.
No, and that's also why you see like companies like Book or all this stuff exist. The genuine demand for that market, basically.
Yeah, and also there are people who also are maybe they are right for each other when they are together and got married, but they slowly grew apart because it's you need to keep working towards the same goal, communicate and grow together. If not, after 10 years, you will realize that I actually don't know the person I'm sleeping next to every night, right? So that's why Wowwwz is not an app just for singles. It's actually a lifestyle app for romance. It will solve all relationship problems. So for you are single, you use it to find the right person, someone who has compatible values, interests, and life goals. And it also helps you to get to know each other better. And there are a lot of small little tools that will help you like, escape the friend zone, the confession and everything, right? Then once you're together, once you're dating, or once you are married, then it becomes a couple app. That means you won't see new people anymore. You'll be off the market because we want you to be loyal. Then instead of new people, you'll see new things to do. Like because before when you're single, we ask you questions like, do you like hiking? Do you like sports and whatnot? So once you're together, you are dating, we tell, hey, both of you actually like sports. Why don't you go and have your first triathlon together or first hot yoga class together? After you are married, we'll do like financial planning stuff. Like why don't you save your money here, plan for your kids' future or whatnot? There are also different tools like if you get into argument, like then you can how to resolve it, relationship advice and stuff like that. So, okay, right now it's just for singles because I don't have the resources to build so many things yet. But this is the vision for it, that if you're single, you use it to meet the right person. If you're married, then you use it to find things to do on a weekend, like build your relationship, right? Yeah. And
It's
grow.
it's like a combination of the like Match.com or anything else and between.
Yeah, it's
which I never understand between. Between is one of those companies that I can never understand.
There's a huge market for it actually, because like if you observe how couples are doing it today, like I don't know, I see a lot of couples, my friends who are married or dating, right? Like what they'll do is like they see a nice resort or a nice cafe they want to check out, they will post on Facebook, they'll tag their boyfriend or they'll tag their girlfriend, right? It's the same thing. Some will have a separate. So like WhatsApp nowadays is full of work chat groups and whatnot, right? So they'll download something that no one uses, maybe like Line, I don't know, in this part of the country. And online, it's just the only chat is with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. So if the message comes from Line, they will know it's their girlfriend. It's a good and bad thing, lah. Good, that means like it's high priority, lah. But if you're in a fight, then it's like you ignore it, lah. But it's a dedicated channel for your other half.
I know. My ex-girlfriend always like told me like because at that point in time we were dating and she said like, oh, the new Korean thing is like when like her friends in Korea is like, oh, can I between you?
Between you.
Yeah, because that time Between is such a big popular app in terms of that. I think they're still around.
Still around.
Yeah, Between is like a couple app where you communicate and etc. But like for me as a business standpoint, it never makes sense at all. It's like it's just like a one-person chat. Yeah.
It needs to be a much bigger thing, lah. The reason I believe why dating will be $100 billion company on itself is because it's a fundamental human need. Everyone will use it every single day, but it needs to be so good that it caters for everyone's needs, and it needs to have a lot of different. So a lot of people will ask me like, so how do you make money? How does Wowwwz make money? Okay, let me just talk about dating right now, since we're at it, right? So a lot of investors and VCs don't like dating apps, and I understand why, because like I also study why companies become $100 billion companies and why they don't, right? Because I want to build something like that. Online dating today is a very stupid industry. Like, why is it stupid? Because the better you are at matching people, right, and helping people find boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Let's say I go on Tinder now. I find a girlfriend, right? That I cannot use already, right? Because that'll be cheating, right? So this
Yeah.
is a stupid business where I go inside, I find someone that I cannot use anymore. It's like you have a restaurant, right? You serve very good bak kut teh or char kway teow. You go there once, you cannot come back anymore because that'll be cheating. Right? So it's such a stupid business that will cause like you have very high cost of acquisition because you keep finding new single people. You
The
have a
better,
very high churn rate because people keep leaving. They find people and keep leaving,
and
and
the
also
better you are, yeah, the better you are, the higher churn rate you have.
exactly, and you also have a very short customer lifetime value because like once they find someone, then they leave already, right? So it's a stupid business, right? So it shouldn't be that way. And also the problem with dating apps today is that it's split into two sections where, okay, don't talk about the sugar book and your sugar daddy and stuff lah, right? It's all about like proper dating lah, right? So you have the Match, on one hand you have the Match.com, you have the eHarmony, plenty of it. It's all owned by Match Group, by the way. Right. So there's last time it used to be IAC and then now it's like whole thing. That is very serious and that works. I know a lot of people who are now in their 40s or 50s who actually met on Match.com, right? But that one is like, it's very serious because you got to pay $60 a month. You go inside to sign up, you have to fill up a lot of survey forms. It's like going for your university entrance exam. You go ask like, how many kids you are, what's your degree, everything. They ask like so many questions but because of so many questions, they have the data to match you with someone who is actually compatible with you, or at least they try to through the algorithm. Then on the other hand, okay, the problem with that is that you will not find anyone below 35. Because they feel that I still got market, why want to pay $60? Why do I want to fill out so many things, right? So if you're below 35, you're not going to find someone on Match.com, right? On the other hand, you have your Tinder, Park Talk, Coffee Meets Bagel. Coffee Meets Bagel is a bit better, but it's still kind of superficial, right? So on the other hand, you have very superficial, just based on looks and location. So if you look normal, like 80% of people, that you don't look like Lin Ziling or Huang Lihong or very handsome or very like, then your chances are very slim, like you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, and also because it's just based on looks and your location, it's very hard to really find the right person. It's very easy for you to get infatuated and then that's it, right? So to find someone who's very compatible with you, you will need to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet the right person, before you find your Prince Charming. And sometimes you only find out after you are married and have kids. Then that is gonna be a mess, So, but Tinder, that kind of app is great for hookups. So that one, there's always a market for that, right? And also there are people who have found like their soulmate on Tinder. It's just that they are very lucky lah. Not everyone is that lucky.
Yeah, my one of my close friend actually found his soulmate on Tinder, and it took him damn long to actually admit it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to disclose it, right? So even people who got married on our app also, they are not publicly saying it So, but at least for those I know, at least I changed their lives Yeah. So it's that's why even if it fails now, at least for those few couples that I know found their soulmate because of that, at least I made a difference in their life There are probably a lot more because those I know is only those who are my friends. So they told me that, hey, I actually met this person, now we are married, right? Because most of the people on the app I don't know. So to me, they are just a statistic. Like how many matches, how many likes and questions they answer. I won't go and see, oh, Daniel, what do you like? Who do you like? Because this privacy, right? So I don't do the kind of thing. It's just like, our algorithm works in a way where it's just like, okay, so if A is a guy and A doesn't want to stay with in-laws and doesn't want to find someone who smokes and whatnot, then find a girl who also share compatible values and interests and whatnot. That's how we write our algorithms Yeah. So we wouldn't know who is who.
No, that's the thing. So the whole work from home MCO thing, how has that changed dating?
How has that changed dating? I mean, the immediate effect is not. Well, people are using Wows more. That's what I can see. But it's also because what I promote it a little bit more, because people are bored at home, don't know what to do. So that's why they use it a little bit more. The other way is also you will realize how many people are actually wrong for each other. That's why you see China right now, after the lockdown is lifted, after in Wuhan, so many people go and get a divorce.
Yep.
Because you see, in our busy lives, right? You go to work, you come back, you go to work, you come back, right? A lot of people don't even truly get to know each other when they are dating. And then because of society's pressure, every day you get a red bomb, your friends are getting married. Every Chinese New Year, your aunties are like, we're getting married, everything. So when you're around 30 years old, a lot of people are pressured into getting married to someone they actually know they are not right for. But there are many reasons they do that, because first, peer pressure.
Yeah,
Second, you're scared that you'll be single forever. You're scared to be single again because you're scared that at 30 years old you are single again. You don't know how to be single anymore. You are scared to go and meet new people. Right? So whoever that you have at that point of time, you just marry lah, right? When you are 30 plus, that's when you're 30 plus, you realize that there's a wave of divorces, that people will start getting divorced among your friends. Some will not get a divorce, but they will suffer in silence lah, right?
yeah,
So for the MCO, I guess in China, this 1 month plus 2 months of staying together, it's like it forces you to realize that if you are wrong for each other, you are wrong for each other. That's why some people just, okay, that's enough, let's go and get divorced. But the good part is also, if you're right for each other, if you're one of the lucky ones right now to find, then you realize that, oh, this is a gem lah, you know. I'm so fortunate to have you. So, but my goal in building WOWs is to try to introduce people who are right for each other to each other in the first place. So you don't have to go through so many heartbreak and have broken families and whatnot.
Saying from a guy who actually not like okay, my dating life is another thing. It's like crazy, but yeah, it is a very good thing to solve, to be honest. And I'm one of those guys that use Tinder or Bumble as bottom fidget spinner kind of shit. So, really up. Like, I'm sorry, anyone who I accidentally swipe right, I'm sorry. Most likely you have a cute dog. But yeah, it's definitely a big problem to solve, because I'm looking. I'm older than you. I'm looking at a lot of my friends who are single and couples who are married. Actually, that some of them are suffering in the sense that some of them are. You're right. They are not meant for each other, and it's always the opportunity. Again, it comes together, the opportunity cost. Like if I don't commit now, like or if I commit later or stuff like that. So
that's why I'm trying to do. But I mean, since you brought it up, right? Ever since I launched my YouTube video and my videos, and also like the stuff that I've been posting and whatnot, I actually get quite a lot of people messaging me. Like some of them are divorced and whatnot, so they resonate and they say that, you know, like, yeah, my ex-husband, we really is literally a living hell. That's why I really support what you're doing and stuff like that. But of course, on the other spectrum, you also get people who are young, who think they are right, that they know everything. That no, this one is wrong. For a long time, I've been apprehensive to launch the YouTube channel, because I know, first of all, I'm probably not YouTube material, because that's not my forte, right? I pitch to investors, but I don't pitch to like audiences. I'm not an influencer kind of person, right? So it's like it's weird for me to do that. Like, content is So what happened was this YouTube channel is Johnson TV, by the way. You can go check it out. You know, I talk about why men cheat, why women cheat, you know, like also things like why it's perfectly okay to still be single at 30, why couples grow apart, a lot of things. So everything I'm building WOWs on, I'm gonna talk about it on YouTube, right? The reason I'm doing this is because there's a whole video about it, my mission, that you can slowly go and listen to. But in a nutshell is that just in case we cannot raise the funding from VCs, because this ecosystem is not ready to fund something like WOWs, right? If you cannot raise the funding to properly build out the app is like the tool to help you find the right person and to build a relationship. So just in case we fail, we cannot raise the funding to actually build the tools for you, at least you can go to this YouTube channel, you can watch it, so you know the skills, you know the knowledge how to find the right person. Or you might not believe it at first, but when you do break up or when you do get hurt by someone, you can watch the videos and you can realize, oh, actually this is what happened. So you can move on positively and know how to move on forward. You can move forward in the right way and find the right person in the future. Right? Because this is what I see right now, because like all the people who have divorced, who have been through it, they totally agree with me, because that's exactly what happened. Because all these things I'm sharing on YouTube is based on real life stories that actually happened to real people. Right? But for a lot of people who haven't been through it, they will think that I'm wrong. Because in their perspective of their relation they've been through, they haven't realized it yet. And a lot of things, you might only realize it 5 to 10 years after you are married, or after 3 to 4 years after you are with someone, right? Because you don't know what to look out for. A lot of people is like, oh, you look okay, I look okay, then okay lah. Then we get together, you like me, I like you, then it's fine, right? it's not that simple, right? That is okay for college,
totally,
yeah.
I totally agree with that because yeah, I've been through too many relationships to understand.
Yeah.
Looks is never what I look for, so it's always something beyond
Yeah.
that.
Beauty lies in
And
the eyes of beholder, right? So there's always a market for you, whoever you are. It is one factor, but it's not the only factor.
I would like to congratulate you because you are getting quite decent traction on the YouTube channel. We are looking at like 27,000, 28,000 views for a fairly new channel, like 2 weeks old, essentially. So,
Maybe it's MCO lah, you got nothing to do.
no, but it's also something that actually I think resonates in terms of what people are looking for, and I hope to see more greater success
Thank you.
coming from you. And yeah, again, as I mentioned, like that, your journey is actually something that when I read, like the honest thing is like Johnson and I, like for the longest time we would never been talking, but like he's honest. No, it's yeah, because like we
Because
are in
you're too
different.
big shot for me lah. I'm a small fry, don't dare to talk to you.
No shit. No, we're actually quite in different circles in terms of that. But
Yeah.
in terms of after reading out his story, I'm like super impressed with the tenacity, the grit, the dedication of it, and like
Thank
these
you,
are
thank you.
these are values of entrepreneurs that I truly respect and admire.
I hope it works out lah. If not, then I'll be selling bak kut teh in Genting or something. And then you can come and visit my.
Hey, you can match people at Bak Kut Teh too. So
Yeah, I'll match people based on bak kut teh, man.
okay. So thank you very much, Johnson. Anywhere people should actually head over to find out more about WOWs or
I mean, for now, the main thing will be the YouTube channel. Just go on YouTube, just type Johnson Khoo TV. Any new updates will be there. Right now we have an MCO campaign. If you scan a QR code and meet people who are also stuck at home or people who like matcha, after the MCO is done, you can actually go and the first 10 couples who met on WOWs can go and claim their matcha at OCMC, Ocha Matcha KL in TTDI. Yeah, but but basically just follow my YouTube channel, then you will know stuff like Johnson Khoo TV. Yeah.
Johnson Khoo TV. That is actually near where I'm staying, but I want semi-cha. I don't want matcha.
There is a semi-cha, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there is. But thank you very much, Johnson. Really appreciate it. I will definitely we would want to get you on again to talk about building unicorns and etc. Just
That'll be
FYI, the valuation estimate valuation of Tinder, like to be honest, that's the big boy at the moment. It's only 1.3 billion.
Yeah, it could be so much. I mean, I realize I haven't really answered the question on how you make money, right?
Yeah.
We will basically be the lead generator for all things romance. So just ask yourself how much money you spend every month going on dates, dining, gifts, everything. Everything will go through us. So next time, if you're a marketer, like next academy, you teach digital marketing, besides Google ads, Facebook ads, you also got to use WowWwz ads. Yeah, basically, yeah. Because we know couples who they want to do stuff with and what they like sports or what kind of cafes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hello. Just to add, you can also do stuff like because like one of the I don't know now lah, but back in those days was actually people go quest together. I go on.
Now I cannot hear you.
Yeah?
I think Shuffle muted something.
Okay, people go on quest together. People go on PC Bank. So it's a cyber cafe. Sit together and play quest RPG together.
I see.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's a Korean thing. But thank you very much. Looking forward to hear from you soon, and stay safe. And thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yep. See you. Bye.
Bye, Daniel.